Hey guys, I'm Lauren and welcome to the Side Chef Studio Kitchen. Today we're going to be making herb roasted spatchcock turkey with gravy. The amazing thing about a spatchcock turkey is it cooks in half the time. You end up with super juicy, flavorful meat, plus a gravy that is going to blow your mind. Let's get started. Here we have our Thanksgiving turkey. Cooking a turkey can be a little bit intimidating because most people only do it once a year, so that's not a ton of practice. But there's a couple rules of thumb you can follow to make it super simple and straightforward. The first thing I like to remember is when you're buying a frozen turkey, you're going to need about 1 day for every 5 pounds to defrost it. Today, we are going to be dry brining the turkey versus a more traditional wet brine. Essentially, what we're doing is covering the bird in salt and leaving it for 12 hours and up to 48 hours before we cook. Before we add the salt, I'm just going to lightly pat the bird dry because it has been defrosting and there's a lot of extra moisture that we don't necessarily need. Here I've got a 1/4 cup of kosher salt that I'm going to just sprinkle liberally over the bird, making sure to get in all the little wings and pockets and crevices. We've covered our bird in salt. Now we're going to wrap it in plastic wrap, throw it in the fridge, and let it rest for 12 to 48 hours. The longer the better. Our turkey has been dry brining for 2 days, and now we're going to remove the backbone. This might seem like the hardest part, but I promise you, it's really not that difficult. Start on one side of the backbone and cut all the way down, and then cut the other side and just pull it right out. Oh nice, there we go. The tailbone is a little bit tricky because it's definitely the thickest bone you're going to encounter here in the spine, but just put your back into it. So we're just gonna give a final little cut through this fat part at the bottom and we're good to go. Congrats, you just removed a turkey spine. Add that to your resume. The spine will be used for our gravy, so we're just gonna set that aside for now while we finish prepping our bird. We've removed the spine. We're just going to flip the bird over and just spread out these legs and press down gently on that breastbone to flatten her out. Woo! Crack! You essentially just want the breast to lay as flat as possible. Okay, we're almost there. We have flattened the breastbone, and now as a final piece of the puzzle, we are going to tuck the wing underneath the breast. The turkey is looking great. Now we are going to prepare our compound butter and the wire rack for roasting. So let's set aside the turkey for now. Now we are going to make our compound herb butter, which will go on the turkey before we roast it. To do that, we are going to pick the leaves off my 2 favorite Thanksgiving flavors, sage and thyme. Let's start with the thyme. To pick the leaves off the thyme, we're just going to start at the top and just very gently pull our fingers down like that. Anything can taste like Thanksgiving if you just add sage, thyme, and butter. Now that we have around a 1/4 cup of thyme, we're going to pick the leaves off some sage. It's a lot easier than the thyme. You just pick at the stem. Oh, sage smells so good. Great, so let's start by finely mincing our sage and add the thyme. And as we are mincing, you can just sort of combine the sage and thyme together and keep going. You want a very fine mince. Great, that looks good. The sage and thyme is looking great. We're just gonna transfer it to this bowl and keep going. And now we're just gonna mince a couple of cloves of garlic, 4 to be exact. To start, I'm just gonna cut off the end and then give it a light crush with the flat side of my knife to make it easier to chop. I like to start lengthwise and then mince the strips. The final step to making our compound butter is to add a little bit of ground black pepper. And then the star of the show, we add the butter. Just make sure that your butter is soft before you add it into the herbs, otherwise you're gonna have a tough time mixing everything together. It smells so good. Great, our butter is finished, and now we're going to set it aside while we prepare our roasting tray. Here we have half our celery, half our carrots, and half our onions. We're going to place these in the bottom of the roasting tray to add some additional moisture so that the turkey drippings don't burn and add a really nice flavor to the turkey meat while it's roasting. Just make sure all of your vegetables are evenly spread out on the bottom of the pan. And this is my secret to a super flavorful turkey. I like to add a half a cup of vermouth to the bottom of the pan. Now I'm going to place the wire rack on top. Great. Gloves are back on. We are going to move the turkey to the wire rack before we cover it in butter. Make sure those wings are still tucked in. That looks great. Now that our turkey is in its final resting place on this wire rack, we are going to add the compound butter. Joy, can you help me out?
Yeah, here's the butter.
Yay!
It smells amazing. So what are we doing?
So we are going to take this butter and put it all up on this turkey meat under the skin and create a little butter pocket under there.
Got it. You know, I've never made turkey before.
What?
Yeah.
It's amazing. You know, it's such an underrated meat, and really, like anything, it is amazing with a little bit of butter.
Let's do it. All right, you go first.
So I'm just gonna take a big ol' scoop of butter here and gently push it up under the skin, just sort of massage it into the breast. This is gonna add a ton of flavor to the meat. It's also gonna help crisp up the skin from the inside.
Ooh, smart. Okay, I'll do this side.
Okay, I've already loosened the skin, so you just need to push it up in there, and then you can sort of massage the outside to really work it all the way in. There you go. Make sure to get all the way up in there.
Thanksgiving is about working together, Lauren.
Thanksgiving is about butter. Who are we kidding?
That's true.
So here we have the remaining half of the butter. It's been melted for around 30 seconds, and I'm just going to brush it over the top of the bird. Okay guys, the moment is here. The turkey has been covered in butter and is ready for the oven. Bake the turkey for 60 to 80 minutes or until the thickest part of the thigh reaches 165 degrees and the thickest part of the breast reaches 150 degrees. Let's do it. Our turkey is in the oven, and now we're gonna start on the gravy. Here we have the backbone that we cut out of the turkey earlier. We're just gonna chop it into 3 to 4 pieces. Woo! There she goes. Let's add a generous splash of oil to a saucepan and brown the turkey backbone. I'm gonna place these pieces into the pan skin side down. A lot of the fat that's still on these pieces is gonna render out, and that's gonna provide great flavor for our gravy. So now that these are in the pan, we are going to brown them for 3 to 4 minutes. Now we're going to add our vegetables, some more sage and thyme. There's always time for thyme. And then we will add our chicken broth, and finally our water. Don't add salt at this point because the turkey drippings will be plenty salty. Now we're going to bring this to a boil and then let it simmer for about an hour, or as long as your turkey's in the oven. And here we are. Our turkey is out of the oven and looking amazing. Now all we're gonna do is transfer this wire rack that the turkey is on to another baking sheet so it can rest for 20 minutes. Here we have our stock. We are just going to add the turkey drippings from earlier into the stock and let them simmer for about 5 more minutes. Look at that, pure flavor. This is pure flavor. Now we are going to strain our stock. Since it's a little bit hot, we're going to ladle our solids into the strainer first before we pour. To make our gravy, we need to start by making a roux out of butter and flour. I'm adding less butter than you would in a traditional roux because there's a lot of natural fat in the turkey drippings. Now we're gonna add the flour and whisk until the mixture starts to turn a light golden brown. It's okay if it's a little crumbly because we didn't add that much butter. Now take a ladle of hot stock at a time and whisk it into the roux. To make sure our gravy isn't lumpy, we start with 3 to 4 ladles of the stock and whisk between each one, and then after that we can go ahead and dump all the rest in. And then just begin to whisk to combine everything. Let your gravy thicken. I think about 5-10 minutes is the perfect thickness, but I like my gravy pretty thick. And we can also taste and adjust seasonings as needed. Oh, it's so good, but I feel like it needs something. Hey Joy, can you come taste this for me?
Hey Lauren, wow, look at all that gravy.
I know.
All right, I'm gonna taste it. Ooh, good thickness.
Careful, it's hot.
It's so good. I can taste all the turkey in there, but I think it needs a little bit of black pepper. What do you think?
You're so right.
I always
It needs
am.
black pepper. Can you grab some for me?
Yeah, absolutely. I normally put in pepper until I can smell it. Can you smell it? All right, perfect. Mix it in and let's try it again.
Clean
All right.
spoon.
Clean spoon club.
Clean spoon. Round 2 for tasting.
Round 2.
All right.
1, 2. Oh.
Oh, I think it's perfect.
Absolutely perfect.
Amazing.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, I'll see you later.
See ya. Our gravy is perfectly seasoned and velvety. Our turkey is covered in crispy skin and juicy throughout, and we are ready to eat. This is the perfect centerpiece to your Thanksgiving table. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.